This may be a personal question, but were you affluent before OnlyFans?
No.
So were you struggling a little bit?
Oh, like money-wise? No, I was not. I was doing well. I was doing well, and I'm really good about saving my money. But I've always been that type of person that would have like 3 different jobs and just trying to hustle as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And so I think that for me was like OnlyFans. I was like, oh, I'll do this on the side. Like it'll just be extra money. A lot of girls in Scottsdale do it. Like it's kind of the norm out here in the West. And
Agreed.
you know, I come from like the middle of nowhere where that's not a thing. And so I just think since it's so normal, I just based it as like, oh, it's just a side hustle.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turned in from a side hustle to like, okay, wow, I'm making a lot of money. And
Yeah.
Also, to add into like your question about kids for the future, I think what she said about the West, it has become like a lot more modernized. So I think it also might depend on like where you're gonna raise your kid. If you raise your kid in LA, like there are so many sex workers here that I don't think that, you know, specifically one of ours necessarily is gonna be the talk of the town when there's like so many plus years now going on between now and then.
God,
So
I
think
hope
it
sex
kinda
work
just
doesn't become
depends.
normalized.
Like
I
I
said
said
with
with
the-
It has
Yeah.
become a lot
I think
more
we
normalized.
think that because we are living in the West, but it's not. It's not normal, and it shouldn't be normal.
I think it is normal.
I think it's
though.
pretty
Been
normal.
I think the
normal for
media
a
kind
while.
of
The media-
shows
the
it,
media
that it's
definitely,
normal.
I think
And
that
it's not
especially-
normal.
yeah.
I think
I
if you talk
mean-
to a lot of guys out there that are kind of normal and sane, they aren't paying for pornography. They aren't
No.
watching pornography. I think that's what a lot of young men are finding, like in this day and age, are turning toward pornography to this day and age, and they're having trouble going out there and talking to girls in real life because the media, it's so easy to pull up porn or whatever you want to see is right in front of you, so why go talk to a girl?
Yeah, but
So it's destroying a lot of young kids, and like it's sad. Oh.
I just think
So
I think
angry.
it depends on like she was saying, like what you in referring to like porn is normalized, like or sex work. Like, what's your definition of sex work? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think you're
think-
thinking like OnlyFans and stuff. Or like,
Well, the definition of sex work is selling yourself, basically, to me.
It's selling a sexual product. So it's, if anyone gets like aroused off of the product, like I said, like a Victoria's Secret magazine could be sex work. Like it could be.
Sure,
It
you're not having
definitionally-
sex, but it's sex work. Like, you're not doing the
I
dirty,
disagree,
but
but-
you're technically putting yourself out there, selling your
I think
body.
it's more art
I
than it is
disagree,
sex
but-
work.
I
It's like a way of
I think literally seeing a dick go in a vagina
Well,
is
you have to-
sex
you have
work,
to-
and
you have-
literally using a vibrator, and that's sex.
You have to think about
But,
why
like,
there's a
taking
market.
pictures-
Posting your
You have to think
nudes
about why there's a
online is
market for
not
what you do.
No.
So.
Sex work?
no, it's
no, it's art.
photography.
Yeah, it's photography.
But people
like,
It's
don't
not like
wa-
I'm just sitting here like.
But why do you think people are watching? But why do you think people are watching it?
It's only one reason.
If you
That's
have
not none
if
of
you have
my
a most
I mean,
if
that's
you have a
kind of
mostly
their
male
problem if
fan
they're-
base,
if they're paying for it, that's on them. Like,
it's
You're
it's
feeding
okay, but
into them as well.
the material reality of it being does not change.
So let me ask you a question. So if you're so against it, I just curious. Why wouldn't you delete your OnlyFans if you?
I've already spoken about this. I was big
Okay.
enough to where my pornography is going to be out there.
you can get it taken down very easily.
You can't.
Yes, you can. 100% you can.
You
It's
can't.
always gonna be
Yes, you
there.
can.
I was just curious
You
why.
You
Reddit,
can't.
I was just
Twitter.
curious.
I know.
You
Okay,
can
listen.
pay, trust
You
me.
guys have been doing this for 6 months to.
I also have lawyers that literally tell like you just pay for it and it gets taken.
I was just curious if like you're super, which I think it's really cool actually that you're super, like, not into sex work and because it sounds like you've like really kind of dipped your toe in the sex work water in different areas, and so I completely get where you're coming from, and I think it's actually great because I know a lot of people who do the escorting and stuff like that, and I think it's really toxic and actually really scary. And but
All
I'm
of it
just
is.
out of curiosity, because it sounds like you're super passionate about it, so I was just curious if you have so much passion for it. I would just assume that you would want to just completely take off your OnlyFans to not earn money from that, to show like you really are super against it, you know?
Yeah, I do want to do that. I also think that, like I said, I'm coming from a background of, criminality. I have basically ruined my job opportunities from being a public sex worker online. There are very minimal ways to make money. I haven't posted for months, and my sex work is going to be that out there. I've been doing sex work for so long that it will just keep getting reposted. It'll keep getting reposted. And I want to move on. I don't want to have to talk to a lawyer every week and say, hey, there's a new picture of me when I was 18 being circulated. Can you take it down? It's on Reddit every fucking week. I want to be able to move on with my life. And hey, if you want to look and you want to pay me, it's there. I'm not going to post on it, but there's an archive, and at least it'll be sent to that. I don't, and you know, maybe once I get, well, I am in the process of getting an actual job working with women at crisis centers, but until then, and after then, hopefully all that money will go towards sex worker outreach programs to help those women. But until then, I'm sort of in a rock and a hard place. I think that a lot of women don't realize what comes after sex work, and it's not great. You don't get hired anywhere. You don't get, everyone has seen you naked. Imagine walking into a room, I've been doing this for 6 years, imagine walking into a room with 100 people, they've all seen you naked.
I mean, we all have boobs, we all have the same thing.
Sure, but there's a very specific way in which men treat women who they've seen as sexual objects, and it's not kindly. So I have very limited options. Right now, I would love to have never made any money from the sex industry. That's part of my whole platform online, is that I don't believe that I don't believe that sex work is work. It's not work, and it shouldn't be work. But unfortunately, it's just the cards I was dealt, and I'm trying to get myself out of it. So